What we're going to talk about right now is your single biggest problem in sales. Okay? You solve this, it's done. Doesn't matter what your price is, doesn't matter what your product is, doesn't matter what your policies are, doesn't matter what your company is. If you can solve this, it's game over. You've unlimited amounts of money. What is it that is our biggest problem? Our biggest problem is obscurity. I'm going to say it again. Your biggest problem is obscurity. If you don't know what that word is, I'll explain. People don't know who you are. You're obscure. You're not in their purview. They don't know what's going on, right? If everybody knows who you are, there's 8 billion people on the planet. If 8 billion people knew who you were, what you did, and what you sold, you would not be able to keep up with all the orders. You could be priced 50 times higher. And if everybody knew who you were, you would still sell stuff. So I want to take a couple minutes and I want us to just talk. I know some of us on the call right now are totally focused on inbound leads. They're not getting out of their lane, and this next few minutes might not be super helpful for you. But if you're out there connecting with clients, if you're out there trying to get people to flow business your way or trying to find clients, I want to take a couple minutes and I want to talk about how we can get ourselves out of obscurity. Okay? I'll give you a couple tips myself. All right? This is stuff I did back in the 1900s. 1998 to be exact, right? I was working for a little payroll company. Okay, by the way, trade shows were monsters back then because the internet wasn't what it is today. I knew every year there was an annual trade show that was our biggest trade show, right? Everybody else was like, oh man, this is going to be terrible. Some people were like, this is going to be great. I'm going to party and get wasted. They did, and they got fired, right? A month before that trade show, ya boy, the ME, because I'm smart, I'm like, this is kind of a big deal. There's going to be, I don't know, tens of thousands of people there. I reached out to the people hosting the trade show, right? Hey, I'm going to be there. More than happy to get there a little bit early. I'll cover my own hotel. You guys need any help with anything, right? Hi, I just wanted to raise my hand, let you know, right? Next thing you know, the trade show starts getting me involved. Right? I become what did they call it? A ambassador, right? Now all of a sudden I'm an ambassador. I got so much more business just because I went out of my way, to let the marketing people of the trade show know, hi, my name's Matt. I work for you know what payroll company. We got a big booth, right? I'm happy to get there early. I'm happy to stay there late. Do you need anything? Can I help you in any way? I believe in this trade show, right? Got myself out of obscurity. You guys have it a lot easier than I had it in 1998. We have it a lot easier. You guys don't think you have a lot to offer the world. You do. You're an expert on your industry. Maybe call a few podcasts, right? I see the great and powerful Rick. Rick might be saying to himself, who the heck would want a guy that owns a painting company on a podcast? I know who. All the fix and flip people. Right? All the people in general, call them. What's the worst that they're going to do, Rick? They're going to tell you, I'm all good, but they're going to remember who you are, right? Anytime you need somebody on the podcast that's an expert in, painting projects and getting things done ahead of schedule and under budget, deal me in. Happy to get on the podcast. It's worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. Even not directly from the podcast itself, indirectly because of all the credibility that you build. You could then send a copy of that podcast out to other people. Anybody else got any other ideas? I see hands up. I know we're going to get to Q&A after this. What are some ideas? Adam, I'm looking to you, my brother. Do you have any ideas of how you could get yourself, your brand, your company out of obscurity? Right? There's a lot of good things that don't even have to cost us any money. You got any ideas, Adam?
The biggest one that's been for me has been just to raise my hand hook.
Yes.
It makes a huge difference reaching out to, I've done it at dealerships. We just launched a whole new side of our company targeting like equipment rental fleets, trailer rentals, power sports rental companies. people that might deal with the problem out, dealerships sell directly to the consumer, but there's a whole other market where it's these companies that are renting out side-by-sides, trailers, stuff like that. They know they've got a problem, but they don't know what the solution is. They think an AirTag's good enough. They think, they don't need to worry about it. So just raising my hand and putting that idea in their head, hey, if you have any questions about GPS trackers, whether we never do business together or not, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, hit me up.
Guys,
it works like you can't believe, because you're putting an idea in their head that they hadn't even thought about before.
Adam has a double whammy, guys. Adam has the double whammy of not only being the chief salesperson at his company. Adam, you also own the company, do you not? Right? Okay, so Adam's got a lot of skin in the game. Adam probably knows better than I do, but I'm just going to take a stab at this. Okay? If Adam spent a bunch of money for a Google pay-per-click campaign, the clicks for GPS trackers, that's a very sophisticated piece of technology. My guess is the clicks are north above $35, $40, $50, $60 for one company just to click on a link that's going to go over to his website. He's not even there to talk about it. Adam, as an owner of a company and as a salesperson, has figured it out, and he jumped into course 2, ECCP, Easton Cold Calling and Prospecting. All Adam is doing, and by the way, guys, we are not attempting space travel. All of us could do this. He's picking hopefully, Adam, you're picking a select number of minimum you're going to strive for every day. He's not pitching. He's not selling. He's not being a spazoid. Hey, if I could have 5 minutes of your time, would love to show you how we can protect your equipment and reduce your risk. He's just calling like a human being, like an industry expert, and raising his hand. Hey, I just wanted to raise my hand, let you know I'm out here. I lead the team here at Ride Dog. Anything you guys need in terms of GPS tracking, in terms of asset management. It's not so great at parties, but I literally live and breathe this stuff. Like, I am happy to have a discussion with you, even if you just want to bounce an, even if, hey, we're good, we're using AirTags, or we're using, you just want to bounce an idea off of somebody else. I am happy to help you whether you're a client or not, right? All Adam has to do is make a few of those calls every day just to raise his hand. By definition, y'all, by definition, Adam is getting himself out of obscurity. And that's literally the genesis of raise your hand, right? It's like you're in the classroom in kindergarten, right? You got to go potty, right? You're just going to sit there till you go potty in not a great place, or you're going to raise your hand and let the teacher know, hey, I need to use the bathroom. That's all Adam's doing. He's raising his hand and letting the world know. GPS tracker, asset management, knowing where all of your equipment is in a moment's notice. Not selling his stuff. Deal me in. I'm happy to help. I live and breathe this stuff. I'd love talking about it, right? This is my passion in life. I'm happy to have a discussion with you. I'm happy to give you any information I can, whether you're a client or not. Adam is beautiful. We need to do more of that. Sean needs to do more of that. Sean, do you have any ideas, Sean, in the equipment rental business? Sean, how could you get yourself out of obscurity? How could you, is there a way, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe we can come up with one right now. Of course, Sean, I want you raising your hand. Is there a way that the people that work with, the people you want to work with, is there a way you could help them?
Yes, Matt. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to talk about, and you read my mind, for sure. The raise your hand thing.
Yep.
I'll start off with what I've been doing.
Yep.
And then I love your biased opinion on what I could be doing better.
Sure.
What I should be doing. And I've done no less than 130 raise your hands over the last 3 to 4 months.
Good.
The people that respond to it, they're happy. They're like, yeah, send me over your website, your email, this and that. Send me some information. Mm-hmm. But I haven't gotten a single deal.
That's okay. That's okay, because you're getting yourself out of obscurity. This is a cumulative thing. We don't know when these deals are going to come, but you've done 130 of these calls. There is going to be a deal that comes from this. We don't know when.
Where I wanted to go with that is, break it down to either two things. Either, maybe I could do some work on my raise your hand, maybe humanize it some more, mm-hmm. or it's possible that people just don't need the stuff I'm offering right now. Which,
Well, they might. Here's the
my
thing.
opinion, what do you think? What do you think's the best? You know, maybe
So-
I could. You might raise your hand. You could tell me some.
So tell me, remind the group again what it is you're selling. You're selling attachments. Are they all predominantly snow removal attachments, or is it? Remind the group what it is that you have.
Yeah, so we're an equipment rental agency that is also a dealer for attachments. So when I'm raising my hand, I say, "Hey, I'm Sean with Plains Equipment Rentals. Anything you need in terms of heavy equipment or attachments, I live and breathe the stuff, and be happy to help you guys out, whether you're a client or not."
Okay, I want to change that, and I want you to make 100 calls with a new derivation of that. What you did was you raised your hand, but you combined it with a sales pitch. Notice the difference. So if Adam was calling the way you just, and nothing wrong, I'm glad you brought this up, Sean, but notice the difference between Adam's hand raise. Adam's hand raise was, hey, anything you guys need, any questions you have in terms of GPS tracking, I know it's complicated, right? I live and breathe this stuff. I'm happy to help you even if you just want to bounce an idea off of somebody. So that's where I want your raise your hand to be, is in that mode of, hey, I just wanted to raise my hand, let you know I'm out here. Anything you guys are dealing with in terms of cost of equipment, in terms of you're confused on whether or not you should rent or buy. I literally live and breathe this stuff. I love talking about it. I am happy to help you whether you're a client or not, right? And one of the lines that I want you to use, Sean, because you tend to be in a business where, and it's not, and please don't get offended by this, but your customers tend to categorize you into a commodity. When your customers Rick is the same way with painting too, and Rick's like, pisses him off because it couldn't be any different, right? There is no one set commoditized way to paint a house or an office building. You're either going to do a good job or a crappy job. You're going to use expensive paint or too cheap paint. The sweet spot is in somebody who's skillful, precise, and proficient, using the right spec materials, not wasting any and getting in there and getting out. That's what the thing is. But the eggheads, the jugheads, the blockheads like us see what Rick's doing as a commodity. Okay? When you're a commodity, the line that you want to use is second opinion, right? Because when we're in equipment rental, right there, that's a commodity, right? Hey, anything you guys need in terms of, talking about this stuff, in terms of cost, in terms of expense reduction, even if you just want a second opinion on something, now they start to call you, Sean, because they're like, what the hell is this invoice? Right? If you call them and say, hey, I wanted to raise my hand and let you know I'm out here in case you need anything in terms of equipment rentals, they're like, we already work with Acme, right? That same company that supplies Wile E. Coyote. And then they're like, I hate equipment rentals because they overcharge me. But if you call and say, even if it's just to get a second opinion on something, they'll start calling you and going, dude, I'm looking at an invoice for $47,000, Sean. This doesn't seem to pencil. Right? And then you can go, man, I'm happy to take a look. Right? I don't know one way or the other. Does it make sense for you to shoot over the invoice to me? Right? And I'm not saying your job is to sit there and grab your competitor's invoice and undercut them on price. But now that's opening the door to a skillful Matt Easton University conversation. It looks like you guys are using this. You've got a skid steer for this. And it looks like you rented the, paver, right? The whole year. Just out of curiosity, what are you using the paver for? But how often are you using that? Are you holding the piece of equipment when you're not using it? Are they charging you? Now, how's your relationship with them? Because I know a lot of companies, you're paying for that whether you use it or not. Because of the fact that a lot of this stuff you're not even using all the time. What I'd like to recommend is we move you over to a pay-per-use basis. It seems a little bit more per hour, but see, you're only paying for the hours that you use. Does it make sense for me to put a quote together around pay-per-use? But all of that, Sean, is going to come from lines like, hey, I'm happy to help even if you just want to bounce an idea off of somebody or need a second opinion on something, right? We want to stay away from sales pitch because when they hear sales pitch, hey, anything you need, I'm here. They're like, great, send me your information. And unless things go totally sideways or they don't know anybody else to call, they never call you. But if you just say, hey, I live and breathe this stuff, I'm happy to help you. I'll say the name of the company, okay? It was ADP, the payroll company, okay? What I said back in 1998, if I was calling Rick, with my raise your hand, what I threw in there, it's my job to help you whether you're a client or not, right? And they'll be like, well, we don't work with you. We work with Paychex or whoever. And I'm like, I could care less. It's my job to help you. You're in Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. It is my job to support you whether you're a client or not. And then all of a sudden the floodgates started to open. They were like, well, we want to look at this. Well, we had a question about this, or I feel I'm getting ripped off on this. Yeah, does it make sense for you to send it over to me? So that's where we got it on these raise our hand calls, guys. It's not, I wanted to raise your hand and let you know I sell this stuff. It's, I wanted to raise my hand and let you know I live and breathe this stuff. I'm happy to help you whether you're a client or not. Even if you just want a second opinion on something, or there's something going on in the industry and you want to bounce an idea off an expert, right? Doesn't go over really well at parties, and my family hates talking about GPS trackers, but anything you guys need in terms of your fleet or the equipment that you're bringing in, deal me in. I'm happy to have a conversation with you.